Good day, immortals! My name is Mika, and today I am dressed as Sprout. And I am dressed as Sprout because I'm going to show you exactly how I get ready for the Ohio Renaissance Festival when I play Sprout. Now, I've had to divide this into two videos, so this will be part 2. Part 1 was me putting on all of this crazy makeup, and part 2 will be putting on all of my crazy garb. So if you're interested in how I put on my makeup, go ahead and go back to the part 1 of this and go ahead and watch that video. And if you want to see how I put on all of my garb, well, go ahead and keep watching. Let's do this. Alright, to start out, I am wearing basically my Fae skin. This is a meshy yellow jumpsuit and just some standard yellow tights. Underneath my tights, I have some Spanx. And underneath this, I have a pretty big bra that's way too big for me. I do that so that by the time I get all my layers on, it actually looks like I have some boobs. Normally, I would tape my feet up before this, but for this video, I'm not gonna worry about taping up my feet. For the bodysuit, I have cut the hands area open so that it can kind of wrap around my hands like that. And I'm not going to worry about snapping this. And if you can see these orange spots, well, I'll explain that in just a minute. So the first thing I'm actually going to put on are my pants. There we go. There are my big, fluffy green pants. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put on my socks and boots. For today, I'm wearing these fuzzy socks. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put on these amazing boots right here. If you wanna see a full review of these boots, I will put in a link on my YouTube video somewhere so you can click on that. All right, now you see these brooches. This is how I attached my leaves onto my boots. But for some reason, on the inside, where the brooch actually touches my yellow tights, it kind of stains it for some reason. So that's why I have a whole bunch of orange splotches all over my tights. Right, I'm gonna go ahead and put on this orange blouse. I don't wear this when it's too hot outside, but now that the weather is gonna start getting cooler, I'm going to wear it, so I'm just gonna put this on. Next, I'm going to put on this really funky skirt. I'm gonna do it a little bit differently than I did it last year. I'm going to wrap it around like so. And I'm going to go ahead and tie it like this. And then kind of move it around. I'm gonna adjust the belt here a little bit. If you're wondering what this is my cast badge. I have to wear it somewhere, and I just figured this was probably the best spot to put it. So that's why that's there. Next is this really cute leaf shirt. I don't know how well you can see it in the light here, but it's got leaf markings on the sides there. Now, eventually what I want to do is make myself a new bodice, and I want to use basically the same pattern as this shirt here, but I'd have a leaf in the front and then a leaf in the back, and then I would have maybe side lacing here, and it would be made out of leather probably, and I would also paint it to some really pretty leafy patterns here. But this is what I have to work with for now, and I am going to put on my leather bodice over this. So here is my leather bodice that I wore last year. This is a little bit different because what I did was I basically painted on a leafy pattern here, but I didn't use actual paint. I used Leather Amore conditioner, so this can be washed out, but it will stay like that until it's washed out. So my goal for Sprout is to have all of my leathers be covered in a leafy texture so that it looks like it's made out of leaves instead of actual leather. So I'm gonna go ahead and lace up this whole thing same way I did last year. Alrighty, all done. Just gotta bow this up and then kind of tuck it inside of here, just like that. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and put on my bracers. These are the exact same bracers that I wore last year. Just put them on like this, kind of wiggle it up. I stick this middle part through my middle finger, pull it down, and then I lace up all of this. Alright, and then when I get to the end here, I basically just do my best to put it in a little knot, and I grab it out my teeth, and pull, do it again, and pull, and then I have a little knot, and then I just kind of tuck it in like this. These are different laces this year than from before. Alright, now for the fun part. Get to put on my belt. Same belt as I wore last year, but the stuff on it, some of the stuff is different, so go ahead and put it on. Alright, so I don't really like the way this looks right here, so what I've been doing is actually pulling this part of my bodice up and the shirt underneath and just kind of pulling it over like this so that it kind of hides that kind of modern belt look, and also so that it has this nice little front part of the bodice right here. So alright, so I'm going to go ahead and go through my belt situation now. So this is new. This is from Castle Crafts, I think. It's a little like seed guy, little like baby seedling, and it's so cute because, you know, Sprout's the fave seeds. This is a gourd from the gourd shop at Texas Renaissance Festival, and yes, I do actually drink out of this. This is my drinking gourd. This is the same pouch that I wore last year, but I actually put a leaf on top of it this time. This was the leaf on the wind leather whatever pouch. Here are my little seeds that I wore last year. This is new. This is a rubber bag that looks like a leaf bag, and it kind of sits on my butt there. It's super cute. I forget the store name, but I'll link it in the description. This is a new bag. This is like a little Tinkerbell leafy bag. It's super cute. I forget the name of the store. I'll link it in the description. This holds all of my magic beans, which is super cool. It's really easy for me to just get in there and access all those beans. Here is my mug. I use this for things like Mountain Dew and whatnot. And this was made by Dragon and Unicorn. And this year I wrapped a leaf around it. My Ravenswood leather frog. And this is the Ravenswood leather belt. My bells that I wore last year, these are from At Home. These two pouches are the same ones I wore last year, but I added these little leaves on top of it and this little ladybug. These are from Mythalon. And then this is a fan that I made myself. I just kind of put some wire through it and hooked it onto the belt. I just use it as a fan. This leaf is from Michaels. And I think that's everything on my belt. So yeah, there were some things that I took off from last year because I just felt like they weren't really necessary for Sprout's character. And I just wanted to stick to everything that was gonna be like pixie, fairy-esque, and I added a bunch of leaves everywhere and whatnot. So unfortunately that means I took off my gorgeous turtle shell pouch, but I just wanted to go for a more leafy theme for Sprout. Alright, next on the list are my wings. I just put them right in there behind in my many layers of shirts that I'm wearing. So I'm gonna go ahead and put them in. I'm gonna try to put them inside everything that I'm wearing, which is sometimes a little bit of a challenge because I'm wearing so many layers. But the closer my wings are to my actual skin, like the more shirts or bodices or whatever they're on top of it, the more likely they are going to stay in there without falling out. So I'm trying a little bit of a new angle here with the wings. They're kind of shaped outward going this way instead of folded completely back. I'm gonna see how that looks. I think I like it. Next thing is my faux cowl. Just wrap it around like so. I'm gonna button it through here. And I kind of just position it in the right way. Okay, that looks pretty good, I think. Just like that. Hey guys, I just wanted to add a little side note here. So I decided to add this like felted leafy vine underneath my actual cowl just to give it a little bit more leafiness to it. So I felt like my cowl could use a bit more going on. So I don't really know the best position to have this yet, but that's basically what that looks like. I'll probably end up sewing this to the actual cowl or pinning it so that it actually stays together in one piece. But yeah, just a little extra thing that I added. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and put on my ears. And then I'm going to put my hat over it. So let's see how I can do this. Start from the back, poke the ears through, and then kind of pull it forward. Just like that. Alrighty, there we go. Now that the light is super bright on my face now, I'll try to get the ears to be symmetrical because they like to not sit on my ears symmetrical. The ears are symmetrical, but just sometimes the way they actually fit on my ears, they look a little bit lopsided. All right, now I'm going to secure my hat by putting in some bobby pins and connecting it to my hair. So I'm gonna do that by opening up this leaf flap. You see I've got some stitching here. Well, in one of the holes, I'm going to stitch a bobby pin through. I'm gonna do it again with another one, same hole, going in a different direction this time. It's kind of hard to see what I'm doing in my phone camera here. There we go. And then I'm gonna do the same thing, but to the hole on the other side. Now I'm gonna do the left hole. Kind of make it go in a diagonal. And this time, when I thread it through, I will make it go straight back. There we go, all right. Before I show you everything, these are the dreads that I wore last year, and I wanted to wear again this year, whoa. But when I made my hat, I made it to fit my head, and I didn't think about the dreads taking up more space in my hat. So I can put this in my head, and it would go back like this, and I would do basically what I did last year, which I would put around a ponytail. But then I can't move my head around a lot, and it makes the hat kind of fit awkwardly just a bit. And plus it's an extra layer of heat, so it's a little bit too hot for it right now. I might wear them when it gets a little bit cooler, but I might not, just because they are very snug inside my hat and it's hard to look side to side. So for now, I am just not going to wear them. But if you ever see me wearing them, then yeah, I just explained it. All right, so there is the finished look. I'm gonna try to get all this in frame here. You would see it better if my phone was angled vertically instead of horizontally. Yeah, that is basically the look. Here's my belt again. I would say this garb is almost done. There's just a few more things I want to do. I want to make a new bodice, and it's going to be how I explained it just a moment ago, where it's going to be shaped like the shirt underneath this, but it's going to be painted like a leaf. These bracers, I'm going to paint leaf markings on, and same with my boots. The only reason why I haven't done that yet is because I don't want to accidentally ruin anything and then not have my garb to wear for the season. So I figured if I try to do it after the season is over, then I'll have plenty of time to replace it if I happen to ruin them. And then honestly, I am thinking about getting a new pair of wings. I do love these wings. These wings are freaking fantastic. They're by 𝔬𝔥𝐬𝔫. They are on Etsy and at, I believe, the Minnesota Renfest. But there's a guy at Renfest, he's a cast member, who makes just the most gorgeous, realistic looking wings. And so I'm thinking about having him make me a new pair of wings for next year so that they'll look a little bit more realistic looking, because these are kind of cartoonish looking, which I don't hate. My whole character is kind of cartoonish looking. If I were to replace these wings, they would be bee wings, they would be yellow. They would be basically the same, but they would be a lot longer and they would be in his style. So it'd be like a more realistic vinyl material. But besides that, I think Sprout is done. There's not much more I could add without over cluttering her. I don't want her to look too terribly busy, you know? The things I could work on for her in the future would be things like props and anything for like the environment that Sprouts is in. Anything to make the entire environment look more immersive and magical. Like for example, the lanterns. I don't really think I need lanterns, at least not yet. But you know, if it does get too dark, I could use this lantern or the one that's hanging up there. I can use things like this. This is the main bowl that I eat out of at Renfest. So it's just like a regular wooden bowl. And this is like a candle topper for one of those big candle holders. And it just happens to fit over this wooden bowl nicely, so I eat out of this. And then I also have this one, which is just like a Hobby Lobby sunflower that I took apart and glued it on the back of a wooden bowl. So stuff like that, you know. I also have like a tree stump cushion that I sit on at Renfest a lot. I can't show it to you because I accidentally left it last weekend, but you know, stuff like that where it makes the entire experience immersive. That's going to be the next stuff I work on after I get more leafy leathers and maybe a new pair of wings. All of this garb was still about $1,600, about the same as last year. With all the stuff that I took away, but then I added new stuff, it's about the same price. But that on top of the makeup's really expensive, especially since I have to replace it often. So yeah, this is not a cheap investment, but it is worth it. It's definitely worth it. I love doing this. This is like my favorite thing to do in the world. Besides my family, this is like what I'm most passionate about. So if you couldn't tell already. But yeah, I think I am done with this video. So let me know what you think of Sprout. And if you saw last year's video, let me know what you think of the improvements. I think it's a huge improvement since last year. Last year, I knew I looked good, but I felt weird about it in certain areas, but now I don't feel weird about it at all. I think she is pretty close to as good looking as I can possibly make her. So I'm very proud of Sprout right now. I'm very proud of the things that I have accomplished with Sprout. I've been working on this garb for probably 5 years now. I wasn't Sprout for 5 years, but as a patron, this garb I started about 5 years ago. So I've come a long way, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. I can't see myself ever getting bored of Sprout. So yeah, let me know what you think of this, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in the next video.